Hello out there. This is Robin Zell, Director of Marketing for Singles Travel International, and we are so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for your time. I do see some familiar faces, some very good singles travelers that travel with us on a regular basis. Thank you so much for coming out to hear about our Greek Island Fantasy Cruise. We've got Gordon Durker. He is the Vice President of Business Development for North America for Celestyal Cruises, and he's going to show us all the great things we can do on our Greek Island Fantasy. It is October 1st through the 8th, as you can see on your screen here, and we'd love for you to join us. So I'm going to go ahead and give Gordon the floor and let him get started.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you all joining us a bit later in the afternoon or early evening for some of you, which is fantastic. I'm based in Seattle, Washington, so for me it's not quite yet dinner time, but I know for some of you, you may be actually enjoying this webinar as you're eating. But we're going to talk about an exciting trip that we have put together with Singles Travel International, and without further ado, I would like to give you guys an introduction on Celestyal Cruises, who we are, and what the trip is all about. So our sort of tag is Seymour, and as you can see, it's spelled wrong because normally Seymour is with two E's, as you know. But this is sort of purposely done to draw attention to our company, because we want to make sure that you see more, but we do the same. We do that by traveling in the Aegean around the Greek islands. So it's not just a cruise. We want to make sure that you guys really get an enhanced experience of a destination. Our crew are, for the most part, the officers in particular from Greece. The food that we serve has a very heavy sway toward Greek food because we are a Greek company. So it's all about being immersed in the destination and having fun that also allows you and also have sort of a real insight of the destination as you finish your trip. So what do we do on our trips? So like I said, we operate as a local company in Greece, and we like to take you to the places that we believe you need to see. The hidden gems, the small little ports, the islands that are off the beaten track, etc. And then of course, the Greeks are very proud of their heritage, the cradle of Western civilization. So you'll get some very good insights on that as well. And the entertainment on our ships is also very much themed around Greece. So whilst you're on the ship, you're experiencing Greece, and off the ship the same way. And of course, Greek food is famous. I think we've all tried a gyro here and there, or a Greek salad here in the United States. We like to show you the real thing on our ship. And of course, there's other options as well, but there's a lot of influence in the kitchen with local wines, etc. So what about our company? We've been in business for quite some time, over 30 years, but many of you may not have heard of us because we've traditionally always sold in the United States through third parties, large tour operators, etc. But right now, we are the only home porting cruise line left in Greece, and we like to consider ourselves an all-inclusive premium value cruise operator. I already highlighted that we reached the majority of the Greek and Aegean ports, more so than any other cruise company. Again, we're home porting in Athens, so we want to make sure that we showcase our country. And then we operate 4 mid-size intimate cruise ships, and the trip that you guys are going to learn about is operated on one of our vessels. And this is not really that important for you, but it's always peace of mind. We are a very active member in the Cruise Line International Association. This, I think, is a bit important because this is what our customers say about us. Cruise Critic, the last few years, has given us wonderful awards for being the best for value, the best for excursions, best for entertainment on board, best for embarkation. I love that one. That's quite interesting. But most importantly, best for service. And that's due to our crew on the ships. Like I said, you know, they're from there for the most part. We have some international crew members as well. But one thing they have in common is that they're very, very hospitable and like to look after our customers with a passion. So who do we travel with? Who are the customers that actually join us? It's actually quite broad. We have people of all age ranges, millennials, Generation X, boomers. In general, our customers are quite educated because they've been a few places. They've seen the Eiffel Tower perhaps already. Greece, by definition, is not usually a first-timer's destination. Most of you in the audience, I would imagine, have traveled extensively. The destinations we feature have a lot of culture and a lot of wonderful things that need and require exploration. So these are the type of travelers that you will find on our ships. Most of our customers actually cruise to travel, and that's a big difference rather than cruise to cruise, because the ship is part of the destination, but the destination is really the hero, the way we operate. So it's about people that like to enrich their lives, and maybe you concur with the below, but a lot of our customers like to watch PBS, CBS, BBC America, etc. So Hellas, anybody knows in the audience what that actually means? Well, that's the official name of Greece, and this is the Greek flag. So the official name is the Hellenic Republic. That's what the Greeks refer to Greece as. And I want to give you some numbers about Greece, some insights, if you like. There's about 6,000 islands in Greece. It's a mind-blowing number, but only 227 are actually occupied or inhabited. And then Greece has just around 11 million Greek citizens. And then the history of Greece goes way, way back. Like I said, it's the cradle of Western civilization, but we can trace back sort of the written history of Greece to the 8th century before Christ. And then I said the food is important, right? So you may recognize this wonderful salad, the Greek salad, very healthy. The diet in Greece is extremely healthy. People tend to live on average much longer than in a lot of other places. Greece is famous for fresh produce, and they eat what's in season. That's very much also what we do on our ships. So feta cheese, the wonderful tomatoes that have been sun ripened, amazing olives, you name it, that's in a Greek salad. But the other thing that you will probably be sampling a lot of is olive oil. And if you shop at Trader Joe's or any supermarket in the United States, it's about a 9 to 10 out of 10 chance that you're buying Greek olive oil without even knowing it. Those of you who are seafood lovers, in Greece, seafood is obviously in an abundance. And this is an octopus salad that a lot of Greeks like to eat this late in the afternoon as the sun is setting, often with a glass of ouzo and a little squeeze of fresh lemon. It's a delicacy. It's absolutely delicious. And this is what I was talking about earlier, the famous gyros. This is kind of the street food of Greece, and it's not gyro, it's gyro. That's the way you should pronounce it. It's very different from the ones that you tend to buy here in the States. And another street food that you may be looking at trying when you're in Athens, sort of strolling the narrow streets, is the souvlaki, which is a little stick with usually pork meat on it and served with oregano and a little bit of salt and some lemon. As you can tell, I like food myself, and this is always one of the highlights for me when you're in Athens, to sample this lovely food. It's only a few bucks and it will fill your tummy. Or if you want to go a little bit fancier, you can go to a traditional taverna, and these are all very beautifully appointed, very cozy, good service, great pricing, and you can sample some of the best of Greek cuisine. And if you like some scenery, how about doing this in Santorini? At one of the beautiful tavernas that's literally right on the ocean. And if you are a fish eater, you will be assured that the fish that you get is usually caught that day and sort of grilled or prepared for you to really enjoy on the same day. Super fresh. If you want to spice it up a little bit, how about a romantic dinner, say, at the bottom of the Acropolis with this view, a few thousand-year-old view. As you can imagine, it's not something that you get to experience every single day. The Acropolis, by the way, the Parthenon, was built 460 before Christ. So you're looking at history there. That's 2,500 years. That's mind-blowing for most of us here in the United States. Greece is also about its beautiful people, a very charismatic, very proud people. Greece has actually a very low crime rate. It's a very safe destination. A lot of the Greeks are super proud people, like I said, and yeah, it's just not really heard of. They're very involved in community. They look after their elderly, but they're also craftsmen still. Fishing is obviously a big industry, but tourism overall is one of the main drivers of the Greek economy. But there's scenes like this that you will find anywhere in the Greek Isles, where a fisherman is sort of mending his nets as they come back from catching whatever local fish. They love discussing politics, often with a glass of ouzo as they sit in their lovely little tavernas. And like I said, Greek people tend to live on average much longer than we do because they have such a healthy diet. There was a documentary done not too long ago where they sought out all these couples that literally were some, like, married for 70, even longer times. And it's quite interesting because this island life sort of does wonderful things to the Greek genes, it seems. It's also a modern place. So if you go to Athens, you know, shopping opportunities galore. There's often good sales happening, and you know, the Greek society, especially in Athens, there's a lot of young kids, students, and you know, the economy is starting to recover. They've obviously been through a bit of a dip as a result of all the banking crisis, and it took them a lot longer to get out of it. But tourism is helping them recovering very quickly, which is a great story. Greece, as we know, is also the inventor of, if you like, of the Olympics. The whole concept of the Olympics goes back to the 8th century BC and lasted the ancient Olympics until the 4th century AD. And then the modern Olympics, as we know them today, started in Athens in 1896, where the Olympic Stadium, if you are in Athens, that's definitely something that you want to see when you're sightseeing there. And consequently, the rings of the Olympic sort of the logo, the 5 rings represents the 5 continents that we all sort of live in. But Greece is also very famous for its beautiful islands, and this is a picture that was taken in a place called Little Venice, which is where all the tavernas are, and this is where our ships will stop, not too far from here. And you'll have an opportunity to have a nice little cocktail, perhaps a meal in Mykonos. Now, like I said, you know, ancient history is definitely part of the experience in Greece, and this is on the island of Delos. Delos is not occupied, there's nobody living there. It's a museum. It's also the birthplace of Apollo, who was the son of music, the truth, and healing, amongst other things, and his twin sister Artemis was also born there. So they were the product of Zeus, the upper god, if you like, and Leto coming together. And Artemis is actually the goddess of the hunters and virginity, as well as childbirth. So you have an opportunity to visit this place. The famous lions of Delos, these creatures, if you like, were put there to commemorate the birth of Apollo, and these are actually replicas, but you will be able to see the originals, which date back to about 600 before Christ, which is absolutely amazing. Now, you know, if you want to enjoy the best of the best in Greece, the stop at Santorini is obviously a must-do, and the cruise that we are promoting here, the one that you will hopefully be traveling on, will definitely visit Santorini. We're actually spending almost 2 days in Santorini, which is rather unusual for a cruise around the islands there. Santorini is stunning. It's also the mythological site of Atlantis, but it's a city perched, Fira is the main city, it's perched high on top of the caldera, and any picture of Greece usually has this as one of the hero images, the beautiful views, absolutely stunning. And it's very famous for the sunsets. And this is a picture taken in the town called Ia, which is on the far end of the main island in Santorini. And you will be sitting on top of the caldera, watching the sun disappear. And guess what? On our cruise, you can do this twice. A lot of the other cruises where you sort of hop around the islands actually miss out on this experience altogether. Then we also go to a place called Milos. And Milos is one of the unknown, lesser-known islands, and actually Forbes recently named this one of the best-kept secrets of Greece, one of the must-see, must-go-to places. And we stop here. We spend a pretty good time here. Some of these beaches can only be visited by boat, and as you can see, the pristine blue waters and these sort of secluded beaches make for a very relaxing afternoon. Here's a picture. My wife is a big cat lover, and so am I, so we had to get this shot in. This is actually in Santorini. There's quite a few kitty cats strolling around here, for those of you who like them. This is another shot of Milos. You know, again, beautiful opportunity to take some incredible pictures, and they always say that cameras can't do pictures much justice, but the blue water that you see here, it's probably even better in reality. It's absolutely mind-blowing. This is another stop. This is Crete, a city called Heraklion. We visit that city as well. And the fortress that you see there on the left is actually one of the old Phoenician fortresses, which are dotted throughout Greece, especially on the islands, because the Venetians used to control the waters there. Then we go to an island called Samos, and Samos is again one of these picturesque little harbor ports, and these are all the little fishing boats for the most part that are docked there with all the little tavernas that serve all the fresh seafood. And then we go to a world famous site. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We go to Kushadashi and to Ephesus. And Ephesus is only about 20 miles south of Kushadashi. Kushadashi is the port, and this is in Turkey. And it's perfectly safe, it's perfectly fantastic. And the Temple of Artemis, which we will be able to find in Ephesus, is listed as one of the 7 wonders of the world. It's one of these bucket list items. You have to go and see it. Another item, or another beautiful site you want to see there, is the Library of Celsus, which was built, and it's a bit more modern in Greek terms, but this building was built in the 2nd century. And so you can only imagine, you know, this was built by the Romans. And it was the 3rd largest library in the Roman Empire. So enough of some of the sites. Let's get into the cruise in particular. This is a wonderful selfie taken on top of the Acropolis. It's not me, obviously, but I thought I'd put this picture in because, yeah, just thought it was a bit of a fun shot. So let's talk about the Greek island fantasy that we are operating together with Singles Travel International. It's a 7-day cruise, but you have the option to book your pre or post accommodation through our friends at Singles Travel. And the trip starts in Athens at 9 o'clock at night, and then you go to Mykonos, where you arrive early in the morning. And you spend a full day and night in Mykonos. Again, that's quite unusual. Mykonos is a great island to see during the day, but it really comes alive at night. So with our cruise here, you'll have the opportunity to maybe explore some of the lovely bars after hanging out on some of the most incredible beaches that you will ever find anywhere. Mykonos is kind of the jet setter island of Greece. There's a lot of high-end hotels. There's a lot of jet setters there. It's kind of known as the Saint-Tropez of Greece. And you will get the full-on Mykonos experience on this trip. Then we go to Milos, which is where those amazing beaches are, and then Santorini, where we spend almost 48 hours. Then we go to Crete. Again, a full day in Crete. You leave sort of around late dinner time, and then you have Samos, and then we go to Kushadashi, and then back to Piraeus. So you saw some of the images, hopefully to get your mouth watering, but this is the actual itinerary of the cruise. And with Celestyal, our cruise line is an all-inclusive cruise line. So what you pay for the trip includes all these items. So all your meals, there's an unlimited drink package, which means that you have access to the bar pretty much 24 hours a day. It's alcoholic as well as non-alcoholic drinks. And this is a really fantastic value, as you can imagine. Then we also include 3 shore excursions on this voyage, as well as the entertainment on board. The port charges, the gratuities, and of course a comfortable stay in the cabin of your choice. So that's sort of the wheel of life, if you like, for Celestyal cruises. And the price that you pay for this trip includes all these items. Now we're sailing on a comfortable ship. It's the Celestyal Crystal. Celestyal Crystal has a range of accommodation. The maximum capacity is 1,200, which may sound like a lot, but if you know that some of the new cruise ships out there can take 4,000 or 5,000 passengers, it is considered a mid-size ship. The time of the year that you guys are traveling in October is actually sort of the shoulder season. So we expect capacity to be somewhere around 600-700 passengers around that time of the year. So it's going to be very intimate, and the ratio crew to travelers is going to be fantastic. You're going to get a lot of attention on this voyage. For those of you who like some facts about the ship actually, George Bush slept on her. The old George Bush, he traveled to Greece and spent the night in one of the suites, which is obviously now called the Presidential Suite. But also the King and Queen of Sweden, when the ship was used in the Olympics in Barcelona. She was used as a hotel ship, and the King or Queen of Sweden spent a few nights on our ship to support the Swedish Olympic team. So I'm going to play a quick video. Now the video, to some of you, I hope it comes across because it's a little bit dependent on your bandwidth at home, but this will give you a quick sort of overview of the 7-day voyage. So here we go. Oops, I clicked too soon. Bear with me. There you go. Okay, so one thing I would like to actually explain, because I mentioned earlier that during this time of the year we have about 700-800 passengers on the ship. One of the reasons why we have this wonderful allocation with singles travel is that each of you will have your own cabin, which is obviously going to be quite comfortable. And we are not selling to full capacity in the sense of the beds on the vessel, so that will make it actually a very nice experience for all of you. But we are actually expecting to sell the cruise out based on the fact that we have quite a few single cabins allocated to this voyage. So if you're interested, I would highly recommend that you act soon, because we're running out of capacity on the singles cabins rapidly. And there's only a few spaces left, correct, Robin?
That's right, Gordon. The ship is not big, like you said. We need to
So, yeah, with that said, I want to thank you for joining us. I hope you got some good information. If you have any questions, I'm available now. We can speak about this, or Robin and the team at Singles. So, yeah, fire away.
I just wanted to go over a couple things here. So on the trip page, here is the cruise, and you can just click book now or price my trip to see what availability is. The ocean views are already sold out. Our balconies, I should say, are sold out on the sailing. So there are inside and ocean view cabins available, and you can share or you can have your own space. All the itineraries listed here on the itinerary tab. You can look through and see everything as we go through the day-to-day. And then you can check out who's going, see who's booked. Part of the process on the side as well. Once you're logged in, you can see who's traveling with us. You can see who our concierge is going to be. Looks like June this time. We've met June before. She's fantastic. She takes such great care of you. And then you can see some testimonials down here at the bottom. People who've traveled with us in the past. So I just want to go over that with you a little bit. If you have any questions, please type into the question box at the bottom, and we'll have Gordon answer them for you. No question. Wow, Gordon, you did a fantastic job.
Well, I hope that people are excited enough to come and join us. We certainly look forward to hosting them on our ship together with you guys at Singles Travel. And I know it's going to be an amazing trip. The time of the year that you're going is actually fantastic. October is sort of the shoulder season, like I said. It's not going to be super busy anymore. It's also not going to be super hot, but still warm enough to go to the beaches and enjoy the outdoor al fresco dining options, and see the sights without sort of shriveling in heat that is 120, which is sometimes possible if you're on top of the Acropolis in mid-July or August.
I have been there, and it was
So it's a
hot.
great time. Yes,
That's when
lots
I
of water.
so it's warm, but it's beautiful, and it's just a fantastic destination. Has anybody who's on the call been to Greece? You can raise your hand on the little check thing if you've been to Greece or not. Perhaps this is the best way to do it, guys. Going from island to island is tedious. Catching a plane or taking a ferry. This is the best way to do it, and I love how you allow us the nights in the ports so we can enjoy the nightlife and see the sunset and things like that. And if anyone is on our Cuba cruise over New Year's has been on this ship and knows how fantastic the entertainment is, how wonderful Danny is, our ship guy. I can't think of what you call that, but he's so great. He was so fantastic when we were in Cuba, and they really take wonderful care of you. Which I'm a cruise critic. You guys do a fantastic job. The ship isn't too large for those people who don't like to have to start walking a half an hour before dinner time to get to their table, things like that. Very intimate space, and a great way to get in and out of these beautiful little islands.
I can only agree with you, Robin, of course, but I'm slightly biased working for the company.
Well, yeah, the destination too. I don't see anybody's raise their hand, so maybe somebody's been to Greece. So this is a great opportunity to come in the fall with your new single friends and do the Greek islands with singles travel. If we
Awesome.
if we don't have any questions, of course, you're more than welcome to save this into your favorites. If you click on this, it'll save it as your favorite trip. And then you can keep track of it in your profile, or we'll give you a call and answer any questions you may have about this before you travel. We'll also price air for you and any additional packages before and after if you'd like to stay and extend your vacation. That's how we do things here at Singles Travel. If I've got no questions, I'm going to go ahead and say everybody have a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you on the Greek Island Fantasy in October. Thank you so much, Gordon, for coming out tonight.
No, Evan, thank you, and I thank everybody for joining us. And yeah, I think they know where to go if they have questions, and I think you know where to go if you do. So, but you guys are the experts, and we love working with you. So thank you so much.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.